Well, that's a really good question, and I think there's I guess there's an evolution of that. So if you're establishing a hybrid cloud, the first challenge is not necessarily just a technical problem. So the first challenge is about how do we join those two environments together and do that in a legal compliant way and also a secure way. So the first challenge is often about people. It's about joining the right skills together to ensure that not just the network integration can be delivered and managed and be observed consistently for its security. But it's then about how do I transact in that environment? So how do I move data between environments and potentially not move data between environments? So usually the gravity tends to be that the volume of data will be in the cloud. So the analytics platforms and the operational systems that are making use of that data will tend to sit in that environment and then need to reach into a data center or an on-premise facility to extract data that's maybe historical or interact with, perhaps legacy systems there. So those then introduce kind of new challenges. Is then how do you manage that processing, or as we might say, how do you orchestrate it? Because there are going to be different types of processing taking place in different locations, and you need a timely answer or a timely output from those two sets of platforms, because often there's going to be information or data that needs to converge somehow, somewhere. So then how do you control that from a single point and do that in a way that's going to fit in with the security policy and the security strategies that you've developed? So that leads us to sort of consider how we then approach kind of processing in place is really what we talk about, or sometimes push down analytics. So in that situation, you've maybe got a centralized analytics platform that's actually connecting to a data agent that lives on premise in a data center, and that data agent is totally responsible for organizing the analytical processing or the querying that's taking place in that location. So we start to decentralize analytics in that way. So those types of the first sets of challenges, and that then leads to, well, what's going on where and how much is all of that costing? So you then need to think about efficiency and having sight over what's running where, and is there duplicity being created because of this, which from what we've seen and organizations that are telling me that the vast majority, certainly the large scale organizations that I work with day to day, we literally know that 99% of them are having these types of challenges. And so getting that consistent visibility of what's going on where and removing duplication is a constant challenge today. And that leads to other then challenges, particularly increasingly data and analytics is being used to run kind of real-time operational systems. We need real-time advanced analytics, artificial intelligence, I get my words out, AI-informed responses to sort of demand from operational systems or the way customers perhaps are interacting with the organization's platform. So that leads to a new kind of requirement for SLAs. You need highly available, highly resilient platforms, and that's easier to achieve in the cloud. It has a cost, but you can achieve that pretty quickly. You're less likely to be able to quickly and cheaply engineer that for a legacy data premise. So you then got to think about what particular parts of a process you're deploying where, and the SLAs that are going to be associated with that. So it leads to new types of challenges.